The reason why today's recap came out a little bit later than usual is because this is by far the most controversial, the most entertaining, and the deepest MLB recap we have ever posted. And the cherry on top, we are less than 600 subscribers away from 300,000. So if you have not hit that subscribe button, today is the best day to do so. We cover baseball every single day, so this is the best place to be if you want to stay up to date on the game of baseball. We have Tony La Russa versus Yermin Mercedes, but now Tim Anderson and Lynn have been added to that conversation. Tony La Russa has lost his entire clubhouse in the matter of 48 hours. We have an update on Kevin Pillar and Mike Trout as some injuries are kind of running rampant around the game of Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani put the Angels on his back yesterday, but was it enough? We're going to go ahead and dissect all of that today. And also make sure you guys use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off minor league tickets, major league tickets, all that good stuff. Now let's start the video off with a worst list sighting. What am I even looking at? This is a top first baseman from the National League. Can someone spot Anthony Rizzo? Because I can't see him. Also, can anyone find Paul Goldschmidt? Now, maybe Greg is simply saying that these are the best first basemen to begin 2021, but you cannot have a best first baseman in the National League without having Freddie Freeman at the #1 spot and then having Anthony Rizzo and Paul Goldschmidt scattered somewhere throughout 1 through 7. I mean, what are we doing? This is just bad. The 5th no-hitter of the young season was thrown yesterday. I can't believe that the Mariners were no-hit twice. I mean, imagine being a fan of a team that was no-hit twice in one season. Anyways, Candelario, he pimps the first run of the game and drives in another one in the 3rd inning. And Justin Dunn of the Mariners, he was not bad. He strikes out 9 and only allows 2 runs. But unfortunately for him, he was facing Spencer Turnbull, who was quite literally unhittable. A 9-strikeout no-hitter as the Mariners, their batting average gets lowered to 199 on the season. Their team batting average is below 200. That is something I never thought I would say about a team going into June. I mean, absolutely unreal. So just like the Cleveland baseball team, the Mariners have now been no-hit for the 2nd time, and shout out to Spencer Turnbull. I mean, he's been underrated for quite some time, and that right there was his breakout performance. Hopefully now he's a household name going forward. So Kevin Pillar suffered a pretty scary injury a few days ago, but I'm going to go ahead and show a clip of him talking after the game in support of the pitcher that actually hit him. I love Kevin Pillar, just a 10 out of 10 human being.
The bases were loaded and it was a 1-0 game, and accidents do happen, so I'm almost more worried about him than I am myself, that it was unintentional, and he needs to continue to be confident and believe in himself and his stuff.
The Mets were facing off against the Braves yesterday, so this is a big-time series, interdivision rivals. The Mets do escape with a 4-3 victory as Jonathan Villar hits his 3rd home run of the season. He was then robbed by Dansby Swanson later on in the game, and Freddie Freeman leaves the yard while Marcell Ozuna ties it up. So for a minute I thought, oh no, the Mets are about to do what the Mets usually do and kind of implode towards the later innings of the game and not be able to score any runs. But Tomas Nido, who has been very clutch over the last few days, he says, nah, we're going to grab this victory, and Edwin Diaz agrees with that as he shuts it down with the save. So that was a huge W. Like I mentioned, the Braves are now on a 3-game losing streak. Ugh, tough time to be a Braves fan right now. Andres Gimenez, speaking of the Mets, he was kind of like the star player acquired for the Cleveland baseball team after they traded Francisco Lindor. Yeah, he was just sent down. So Cleveland fans, we only know pain. And speaking of pain, Mike Trout is going to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. He heard a pop in his calf and he knew immediately that he was going to miss some time, and that came in huge yesterday as the Angels try to make a comeback after Jose Ramirez, along with bad defense, I mean, they jump out to a 5-0 lead, and then you have Ohtani, Barria, Upton, and Iglesias. They storm back to tie it up, but Josh Naylor, he only takes daddy hacks. I mean, seriously, he knew that this ball was gone as soon as it left the bat, and James Karinchak is super tough to get any runs across, but Stephen A. Smith took the time to be the most condescending person ever and say that, oh, because Shohei Ohtani is hitting 271 and the Angels are sub 500, that Shohei Ohtani is not that great. That's the vibe that I got from this. Watch.
Because I don't give a damn. Ohtani is nice and all of that stuff. I get it. It's special. It's special what I'm seeing so far. I mean, just stop the presses. He's got the 14 home runs. He's batting 271, not 371, not 471. He's batting 271, all of this other stuff. They're in 4th place. I get it. I understand that. In the American League West, there's about 3 teams ahead of them.
So I guess in Stephen Stephen A. Smith's mind, Willie McCovey and Eddie Matthews are not that great because Willie McCovey never won a World Series and he had a 270 batting average. Eddie Matthews had a 271 batting average. So yeah, maybe that's the reason why First Take does not talk about baseball, because that was a dumb take in my opinion. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some more dumb takes. Tony La Russa, he sucks. So for some context, before we talk about the White Sox losing to the Twins, after Yermin Mercedes hit that home run on a 3-0 count, Tony La Russa destroyed him. He said that he was a dumb rookie, that he will never do that again. La Russa will actually step in front of a pitch before Yermin is ever going to be allowed to swing at another 3-0 count when they're up by a few runs. And I just can't believe that he actually said that. So then before the game, Tim Anderson came out in support of Yermin and said that, hey, the game wasn't over, keep doing you. And then Yermin says, you know, you're right, Tim, I'm going to go ahead and play my game. I'm Yermin, and I'm not going to change for anyone else. I love that. Now, unfortunately, even though the White Sox go up 4-0 in yesterday's game, Miguel Sano pretty much single-handedly won yesterday's game. He goes off for 3 home runs. He ties it off. He is the first member of the Minnesota Twins since Justin Morneau. I miss Morneau. He could have been a Hall of Famer if he did not suffer that concussion. And Liam Hendricks cannot hold it as Jorge Polanco walks it off. So Miguel Sano, the 3 home runs, and the Polanco, the walk-off. The Twins escape with a 5-4 victory, but they do kind of get an L because Tyler Duffy was ordered to throw at Yermin Mercedes, and I cannot believe that I'm saying this, but after the game, Tony La Russa said that he was okay with how the Minnesota Twins handled that situation.
So, I don't have a problem with how the Twins handled that.
He came out publicly and said that he is fine with opposing pitchers throwing at his young player. Yermin filled in for Eloy, and he has been very good. He is one of the biggest reasons why the White Sox are in first place and playing some of the best baseball that we've seen of any team to begin 2021. But then you have Lance Lynn coming out and making a ton of sense, saying that if you have a positional player in, the rules are out the window. You have given up, and if you want to end the game, then put in a pitcher. Stop making a mockery of baseball. But then Tony La Russa says that he disagrees with Lance, and then he says this, that Lance Lynn has a locker and Tony La Russa has an office. He pretty much said, hey, shut up, boy. You have no idea what you're talking about. I am the big dog in this clubhouse. I have an office, you have a locker, and you should stick to doing what you're paid for, and that is playing baseball. Tony La Russa, I don't mean to get personal, but because of those 2 DUIs and the fact that he has proven over these last few days to have some of the dumbest takes, I don't believe that he has an amount of awareness or empathy for others to be able to lead a team. I know that the White Sox are playing great baseball, but that's because the management constructed a super team. Tony La Russa, his mindset is outdated and he is dangerous for the game of baseball, considering he does not want fans to be entertained by home runs, and also the fact that he is okay with Yermin Mercedes getting thrown at on a 94-mile-an-hour sinker. Tony La Russa, I know you're not watching, but get your head out of your you-know-what before you get fired, because the clubhouse is definitely not on your side. Okay, sorry. Rant over. Now, just to kind of put a bow on this story, Marcus Stroman put out a tweet saying that he was riding with Lance Lynn all day. TLR, Tony La Russa is stuck in the past. Life is about adapting and moving forward. I could not say it better myself. Baseball is on the up and up, not because of Tony La Russa. We're gonna go through these games a little bit quick because pretty much the rant of today's video was the main premise, but we'll go ahead and talk about every single game in depth as much as we can. The Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks 9-1 yesterday. An awesome story. Corbin Martin has not pitched in 2 years, so he makes his debut yet again for the Diamondbacks, and Mookie Betts is very mean. He drives one deep, and then Chris Taylor with a 2-run home run in the 5th, it unties it. You have Julio Urias going a very solid 6 2/3 innings, only allowing 1 earned run and striking out 8. Albert Pujols gets hit in the elbow by a pitch, and then Gavin Lux, who has an 874 OPS in the month of May, he is breaking out before our eyes. He hits a little granny. Again, the Diamondbacks, they lose 9-1. The Padres, they win their 5th consecutive game and are now tied for most wins in Major League Baseball. Josh Fuentes, I do want to shout him out. Over his 7-game hitting streak, he is hitting .483 with 14 RBIs. Jurickson Profar, he puts it in play to tie it, and Blake Snell was dominant. 11 strikeouts, only 1 run, and 1 walk over 6 innings. You have Daniel Bard kind of blowing the game. He has been known to have command issues. You are not going to throw out Jorge Mateo on a pass ball, so the Padres, they walk it off. The Giants also on a winning streak, 3 games in a row. Jesse Winker is swinging like Barry Bonds, and I don't think Alex Dickerson likes me making that comparison because he says, I'm wearing the Giants uniform. I'm Barry Bonds today with a 3-run home run as Anthony Desclafani goes 7 innings of 1-run baseball. baseball. That staff is so good. I know Nick Castellanos hit his 11th home run, but Jake McGee, he comes in and he seals the game with his 11th save of the year. The Phillies, good lord, Zach Wheeler versus the Marlins is not fair. 7 shutout innings with 10 punchies and no walks. And also on the other side, the Marlins pitcher Poteet, I believe that's how you say his name, he was pretty good as the game was tied up until Jazz Chisholm hit one of the most impressive home runs I've ever seen. 100 miles an hour at his face off a lefty. That was the second time this year that a player has gone deep off a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. And the first time was Jazz Chisholm off Jacob deGrom, so he is sensational. But then the Phillies erupt for 7 runs in the 8th. So Bryce Harper, his 2 RBI double or single, I don't remember what it was, that caps off a 7-run 8th inning, and the Phillies escape with an 8-3 victory. The Cardinals, Mr. Nolan Arenado hits a home run in his 4th consecutive game. He leads MLB and OPS in the month of May. I thought it was the Coors Field effect. No, Nolan Arenado is that guy. Tommy Edman drives in 2 RBIs. The Rays on a 5-game winning streak. Matt Harvey is not that guy anymore. I'm sorry. He needs to hang it up. He is costing the Orioles. He is not good anymore. Brett Phillips starts it off with a 3-run dinger. Austin Meadows says, hey, I want one as well. So you have 2 3-run dingers off Matt Harvey. And then you have Zunino smashing 2 home runs. G-Man Choi makes it 13 by the end of the game. The Rays have outscored their opponents by 29 runs over the last 5 games. Another offense that is just completely unfair. The Blue Jays, they blank the Boston Red Sox yesterday. Marcus Semien drives in a run, and they were gifted another one by Hunter Renfroe on a really bad throw, which is not like him. He has one of the best arms in baseball. So by the 6th inning, it was 6-0. And when you're facing Hyun-Jin Ryu and he is dominating 7 innings, 4 hits, does not allow a single earned run, yeah, you're going to lose that game. And then just to add some salt to the wound, Randall Grichuk with a 2-run bomb as the Jays offense goes absolutely crazy in Dunedin. I mean, their home stats are absolutely insane. Wilson Contreras drives in 2 RBIs on a little singy. Why am I saying singy and punchies? I feel like a frat boy. The Cubs win 6-3. That's all you really have to know, even though the Nationals tied up. David Bodie unties it, and Ian Happ, he hits another home run as Craig Kimbrell has been lights out. 8 saves, a 1.08 ERA, and a near 15 strikeouts per 9. He is 44 saves away from 400 in his career. The Yankees versus the Rangers. Nick Solak begins the game with an RBI, and Adolis Garcia, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he continues on with his MVP campaign, and I'm not sorry to say that. Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez, they drive in a few, and good for Miguel Andujar. He drives in another one as DJ LeMahieu, his 2 RBI double, makes it a 5-run 4th inning. Nick Solak, man, Jameson Taillon is not having a great season. Nick Solak with that 2-run home run puts into question whether or not Taillon needs to be sent down or not in favor of Debbie Garcia. So on the final pitch of the game, Aroldis Chapman gets the save on a 103-mile-per-hour pitch. Good lord, I would never want to face him ever. I'm glad that I never chose to play professional baseball. And then the final 2 games, the Royals shut out the Brewers yesterday. Chris Bubik was amazing. I hope that's how you say his name, or Bubik. I don't know. 6 scoreless innings as Brandon Woodruff, he gets some of the worst run support along with Jacob deGrom in the game of baseball. A fantastic start ruined by a bad Brewers offense. And then last but not least, the Astros, they lose to the A's after Ramon Laureano starts off the game with a home run. Kyle Tucker with a very impressive home run as well. Lefty, 440 feet, something crazy like that, maybe 451, I think I read. That makes it 3-1, but then Tony Kemp kind of shifts the momentum on an insane web gem. Ramon hits his 2nd home run of the game. Matt Olson and Matt Chapman, they tie it up after the Astros reclaim the lead, and then guess who does it yet again? Ramon Laureano seals the victory with a sacrifice fly. Miles Straw, he could not get behind it. He kind of read the fly ball wrong. And that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you make of Tony La Russa versus pretty much his entire team? It's kind of like the story of baseball right now. And also, Stephen A. Smith, if you're not going to respect Shohei Ohtani just because he has a 271 batting average, completely ignoring his 956 OPS and league-leading 14 home runs, just don't talk baseball. Make sure you guys follow because we are so close to 300,000 subs. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off your entire purchase. Follow me on my Twitch. And last but not least, shout out to Mr. Jack's class in Florida. Good luck on your state history exams. You guys are going to knock it out the park. Thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy this day in MLB history. Peace out.
Glasgow strikes out. John Lester's thrown a no-hitter at Fenway. He no-hits the Kansas City Royals.